Hi, I'm Josie Townsend. Today I'm actually having a cuppa with the wonderful Jen Shaw. Jen, you've been up to lots of stuff, I hear.
I've been pretty busy trying to get a social impact enterprise happening for young people in our region who are having a bit of trouble with life. Mm-hmm. We've got a food van there that it's in my driveway, but we need to raise the funds to get it going. Catering, food van for events. It's all part of a program that helps young people get back on their feet and really reach their potential in life. So a lot of work around that, trying to raise the money and get exposure and do what we can for young people.
That's fabulous. And I know that you've done lots of, you've had lots of lived experience, I guess, in that space. And so it's I guess something that you're very passionate about.
Oh yeah.
But you prior to that, you were doing a lot of work around food. Is it a food-based program, or is it something?
Obviously, I love food. I've written cookbooks, and I've always been very passionate about beautiful, real food, sourced as close to nature as possible. So there's always going to be a foundational element in our program and in our approach with working with young people, and that's where I started it, very much about cooking and not just cooking, but budgeting skills around shopping, where to source their food.
Life skills, essentially.
Yeah, life skills. Yeah. I guess cooking and eating make up a great big part of our life skill set, well, certainly for me.
Yeah.
But I wanted young people to know that, food and the way that we live really impacts our mental health, and it can really help us feel better and help us achieve our goals. So we do a lot of cooking, we do a lot of nutrition, but nothing fancy, We're doing stuff like bolognese, shepherd's pie.
Do you eat together?
We eat together. We always have afternoon tea. We have some healthy snacks, but then whatever we cook, we eat. So if it's bolognese, I'll show them how to put that into a lasagna or spaghetti or into a sweet potato or something. So
we were talking a little bit before, because part of this is actually about sort of unmasking you a little bit too.
Yeah.
So because we've all seen Jen on social media with your blogs and things as well, and your cookbooks. But, you've got a family too. How many children do you have?
We've got 7.
7 children?
8 if we include my husband. And I do, yeah.
What will he say about that?
I think he'd agree.
And you're mentioning earlier, we were talking about bringing kids up, and even our own kids, and how tricky that can be, and how you've got a lot to choose from for how you bring them up. But, you were saying that, we were talking about enabling kids to be able to look after themselves a little bit. How do you cope? Like, do you find all your kids are the same? Are they all really competent because you were such a master at training other people, or are one or two sort of a bit, not want to be a bit more, looked after?
They're all our kids are sort of, they've grown up in an environment where we've been very busy. There's been other kids around. I've always had little babies around, and my husband and I both own businesses. So they've grown up in a really busy environment. So I guess not on purpose. They've had to sort of look after themselves and look after each other. And that is fundamentally what I want from my kids, is to know how to look after themselves and look after other people.
Yeah.
People ask all the time, how do you do what you do with all those kids around? Well,
I think I've asked you that before too.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but I
struggle with the two.
I couldn't do it without them. They're part of everything we do. Sometimes we have to put it all to the side and do something for them.
I think you said too, there's that natural, the older ones help with the little ones a bit, or they entertain each other.
Yeah,
and
we've got our own play group.
Are we advocating? Massive family, the whole netball team.
And they do. There's a sense of responsibility. We're a part of a team. We are a team. That's what I refer to us all the time. It's each other's job to pick each other up and help each other out. I've got 6 daughters, so I've got 6 little mums walking around.
Wow.
And there's a really
are they all mumly, or are some of them less mumly? Because I know my girls are really different.
I've got 1 or 2 that are just ultra maternal, and I already know that I'll get 6 or 7 grandkids, out of her, and they've all got a level of it. But my eldest daughter doesn't want any babies, but currently she's 15, so I'm happy with that. I'm cool for that.
So let's talk, what were you doing when you were 15?
When I was 15, God, I'm having some walks down memory lane these last few weeks, but when I was 15, I was pregnant with my eldest daughter, which as a mum of a 15-year-old now, I go, oh, wow. It's really it's this year more than any, because she's the same age. She's doing exams. She's doing a lot of sport, and I'm just thinking, wow, my life was so different when I was that age. So my 15-year-old Jen was probably my hardest year, I think, that I can ever go back to. That's the year where things were really out of control in my family.
Well, interestingly, I do know that a lot of teachers don't want to teach year 9.
Yeah,
because
the hormones must be going really crazy.
So you probably weren't alone, but I know your story's quite unique too in each of us.
Yeah.
So
as I was out of home and I was spending a lot of time on the streets in that time.
How was that? Like, what did you do?
I couch jumped a lot. I never actually slept on the streets, and it wasn't until yesterday someone said, "You were homeless," and I said, "No, I wasn't. I had somewhere to go."
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I was sleeping on couches. I was sharing beds, wherever I could get in. It was weird.
Were there organisations around like the YWCA and stuff then? Were you in Toowoomba?
Yeah, this was in Toowoomba. Okay. I've always...
So how long ago was... Not to be rude or to ask Jen's age or anything, but how many years ago was that?
Because it's about, I'm 32 now, so this is about 17 years ago. There wasn't...
So it's not a new thing in Toowoomba for this to...
No, I think,
happen.
we don't have huge amounts of kids on the street and homeless people
but
the way that Melbourne do.
No, but we have a lot of kids couch surfing.
Yeah, we totally do. And, you only have to go for a drive downtown on a Thursday night and you can see with your own eyes what's going on. And
well, I'm at the farmers markets on a Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. You better not.
Yeah. But so where do you find the kids that you're looking at putting through your new program? Now, the new program's called Emerge.
Yeah, so we've got a girls program at the moment that we're piloting, and it's just been amazing. And next year we're going to run a boys program as well. So there'll be two separate programs. We won't put them together because you know what 15-year-old boys and girls will do if we put them together. And the program is really, it's a focus on nutrition and cooking, goal setting, positive self-esteem. We've got we've got other mentors on board. That's one of them, probably the most important aspect of it, is putting mentors together with these kids, so there's exposure to positive role models and people that show up for you. Every week people are coming along and they're showing up, which is really cool.
Do the kids show up each week? Do you have a problem with the kids not?
Mostly we find going in, we know that there's a dropout rate because of the kids that are coming are kids who've been in programs like this before. They've been in and out of foster care. They might have schools given up on them and different organisations who've tried, and it just goes with the nature of the program. But
how do you get them to connect with you, Jen?
Really, I always tell them my story to start with. It's that relatability straight away.
And do you have to do anything else? Like you mentioned some stuff that you do, which would probably not fit into the government guidelines of what
and that is our approach. We let them know really early on that we're not. Right? Yeah, I am me, and it gives me that flexibility. I wouldn't be able to do it if there was a set of rules or a government or even a religious hand down that told me how I needed to run the program. And I think that's what makes us so different, is we are saying to the kids, I'm not being paid to be here. I want to be here because I was you once, and here I am now, and I know how crappy it feels to be where you are, but I get you. I noticed the minute you start dropping a few swear words, they connect with you immediately. They know this is something a little bit different, because that never happens, right?
But you would never say those words otherwise, would you, Jen?
No.
Not in real life or anything, never. No, not with 8 children, never.
And I think that is the point. Yeah. I keep it very real with them. Yeah. It's very street level. If they're talking about, they might say things that shock regular people, things about self-harm and dangerous activities they might be going about on the weekends or whenever, and other organisations might have a really cotton ball approach to dealing with that, or not know how to deal with it at all. But we are really grassroots stuff. We're getting down to the basics of why understanding that must feel really shit. And so it's that relatability that gets them there and keeps them coming.
So you're a really busy person. Both you and your husband have businesses. You've got 8 children. I know you're moving house at the moment too. And
yes, just about.
It's all a bit crazy. Yeah. So how do you cope? What do you do for Jen to stay sane?
Well, it sounds a bit silly, but I've got chickens, and I absolutely adore chickens.
I didn't know you were going to say chickens, but I love chickens too. They're therapeutic.
And sometimes music. I love music. We have a lot of music in our house. Everybody seems to just love a good dance, and I love just connecting with music. I write a lot. It's very therapeutic, and
what sort of writing do you do? I know you do cookbooks. Is that
no? That's not the kind of writing. And one day I'd love to write a cookbook about my journey through life, but I don't think I'm in a place yet to do that. But
Sure.
I just love writing, you know, expressing. It used to be quite structured in poetry, but now I just love to just share my thoughts in the way that things are going on inside me, and I share that online publicly to 34,000 people, which sometimes if it's dark that can be a bit vulnerable, but that's how I like to be.
I know, and I'm trying to find some bits that people don't know about you, because
Yeah.
I know you're so authentic and real. And,
I let a lot out because I think it's taken me a long time, because I've been through a lot, and I used to be very angry or embarrassed or regretful of things.
How did you get over that? Like, I mean, because I mean, I still know lots of adults that won't open up. They don't talk about anything. They want approval from everybody, so they hide themselves.
Yeah,
and I get beyond that, because I mean, you obviously were in that space at some point.
Yeah, for a long time, and I guess it's been a gradual process. It's not something I just went, right, I need to change this, not, you know, in a day, but inspired by other people who share their vulnerabilities. My grandmother passed away last year, and it was I was with her when she passed away, and it sounds a bit silly, but it was the most raw, beautiful moment I've ever been in. And I just looked at this woman who had lived a life of no regrets, and she'd lived owning everything she'd ever done, her ugly parts as well. And she was somebody who did reach out to people who people might shy away from, but she wasn't afraid to just stand up and go, you're awesome. Like, how can we find your potential? And I was really inspired by that.
So was she one of your main mentors?
Oh, she was always my biggest fan, you know. When I was out on the streets, I can remember, I put her in some really uncomfortable positions, you know. She was trying to pick me up, trying to re-engage with me, and I'd leave her sitting in cars, but she always showed back up for me, you know. No matter how much crap I put her through, she was always showing back up for me. And she was always someone who said, just try something. The worst thing that happens is you fail and you try something else. Like, you live in a really good age now where it doesn't matter if you don't finish school, there's other options, or if a job doesn't work out, you're not locked in that career forever. So she's always been a big inspiration like that. And I kind of felt, her namesake, we've got the same name, so I kind of felt this legacy that I had to continue, is just the way that she treated people and the belief she had in me. Well, I have to
How old were you when you shifted? Like, how long, like, do you know what I mean? Because obviously there was some aha moment.
Yeah,
possibly,
I guess it's been a gradual journey. I guess doing all that I do, writing cookbooks, and there's been self-esteem building there and confidence building, that I actually had good stuff to share with the world. I was worth, things that I was doing and thinking and wanting to do were worth sharing with the world, which gives you that confidence and that self-esteem in yourself. And I think, and just there's been this overall feeling of, well, I did survive a lot of really bad stuff when I was younger. So what's the absolute worst that happens now as an adult if I just try to do something amazing?
Were there key people? Like, I mean, did you know Mick forever? Or
I met Mick when I was 21.
Okay. So,
and yeah, he's always been a great, you know, he gives me lots of space to do what I need to do. And
you'd need lots of space with everything you fit in.
And I'm pretty chaotic, and I have lots of big ideas, and, you know, sometimes he rolls his eyes and just goes, gosh, not again. Here we go. But he's always been really supportive of me. You know, I guess there was a point when I was young, I just thought I'd have to be a mum. I'd be a mum and be a wife and do those sorts of things. And then I guess...
So your daughter was already 6 by the time you met?
Yeah, he's not my oldest daughter's father, but so he's been a great stepdad. You know, he took us both on, which is just awesome, and they get along really well. They're kind of like an older brother, old younger
which is
sister,
hard,
kind
right?
of.
Step families.
Yeah, step families can be really messy, but they've both really coped well. There's never been any major issues. So that's been really awesome. He's took us both on. He took on a big part of my healing. So there was a lot of healing going on while I was with him. Some nights just being angry or really broken down for a reason that he doesn't understand. Yeah. And so he's given me a lot of space to do that too. And I think there was a moment early on where I sort of went, I've got this depression, I've got this anxiety, I've got all this trauma, and I think we get in this world where we go, I need to overcome that, I need to get better than that. And I kind of developed this idea that I don't have to overcome it, I just have to embrace it. It's always going to be there. It's a really important part of my story, and the quicker we embrace it, you know, we can either be crippled by our past, or we can succeed from it and embrace it. But we get to decide, and that gives you that control.
So was it just your grandmother who was a role model? Were there other people who influenced you?
My mum she's still, you know, back when I was a teenager, we didn't have the best relationship. She was dealing with her own trauma, but she had to overcome a lot, and she's done amazing. You know, now she's a psychologist, and she helps people too, and she's gone through this whole healing process herself, so I'm immensely proud of her, and we have a great relationship now. So that in itself, at the time when I was 15, 16, I was quite angry, and we used to fight a lot, but which is normal, I think, in many ways is normal. But add a few other elements in, and so I'm really proud of her. So just her strength to get over the things that she did. Domestic violence and things like that, she has done amazingly. I've got women everywhere. I guess as a young person too, I don't know if it was just me or if it's a cultural thing, as young women we're sort of taught to compete against other women, and I don't know if it's because we're all looking for boys or if that's where it comes from. And so I was always underneath everything, there was this competitive side to women, you know. It's all about who's better than. And as I've grown up, maybe it's just maturity, I've just realised that women are so amazing together. They lift each other up. And
do you think like my thing at the moment is there are these amazing dynamic shift in Toowoomba with women actually just doing amazing things here. And look, a lot of men too, without a question, who are absolutely there with them, but there's been this real shift in the last 3 or 4 years here. Have you seen that?
And
there's this amazing, just so many women here are just doing incredible things.
There really is. And women who are, you know, they're multitasking and, you know, raising families, and then they're also changing the world in the other hand.
And supporting each other through that. Yeah. And, you know, that's a nice thing in Toowoomba. Like, these women are actually coming together and they're going, actually, you know, we want more, and we want to do things, and we want to make a difference, and we want this to do, you know, we want this place to thrive and be dynamic, and we want our children to be a part of that. We want our partners and husbands and whoever to be a part of that too. So, you know, it's and I think it creates a really nice connected community when we start to see that happen as well. So, and I know you're a big part of that with everything you've been doing. And I know you've got one of those faces that people go, oh, I know her.
Yeah, it happens everywhere I go.
So, look, Jen, I just want to say thanks for coming along today. It's been a great opportunity to have a little bit of take the mask off a little bit and just see who Jen is underneath. But I know that you are so real and authentic, and look, you are just amazing and such an amazing role model for so many people. Thank you so much.
Thanks.